ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this wonderful, wonderful meeting of the City of Los Angeles Board of Public Works. I hope everybody is feeling good and ready to change the world in positive ways. Good. Okay. So it's good to see everybody. It is Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. Key Laker playoff game, FYI, today, and I hope everyone's thinking about that. And we have some business at hand. So, Dr. Campos, do we have quorum?
Thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, establishing quorum and roll call today. For Wednesday, May 19th, we have Commissioner Good, Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Pelosa and Villegas. President Good, you do have a quorum. For the record, all commissioners are dialing in remotely. We have one commissioner dialing in from his office, President Good, and Commissioner Villegas, is that from your office? Yeah, okay. You have new picture frames in the background, so. Commissioner Villegas is dialing in from City Hall office. I myself, I'm dialing in remotely from my City Hall office, and we're also joined by our General Counsel, Mr. Ted Jordan, who's dialing in remotely. Mr. President, you also have representatives from all bureaus on the line, should your board have any questions for any of the bureaus. At this time, we currently do not have any commentary for general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section, and no members from the general public that would like to speak on any of the items for today's agenda.
Okay. And noted for the record, Vice President Garcia has a new background as well.
She does.
This was my conference background.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, it looks great. Very good. Okay, let's jump into the meeting. So first, we'll take the minutes from Wednesday, April 28th, 2021. Do I have a second to my motion to approve?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any concerns or questions, Garcia, Pelosa, or Villegas? All right. Hearing no concerns or questions, the minutes move forward. They're adopted forthwith for Wednesday, April 28th, 2021. That brings us to our presentation today. At the risk of being massively obvious for everyone on this Zoom, this is National Public Works Week. And I'm going to say no more, and I'm going to hand it over to my comadre, Vice President Aura Garcia, and you take it from here.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, President Good, for that intro. Happy National Public Works Week to everybody. Yay!
Yay.
As you know, this is a national celebration, so everywhere around the United States, they're celebrating and recognizing the work from our public works employees all throughout the city. I've seen different things happening all throughout other cities, but I have to say that I think we are the best at doing what we do. So with that, we're starting today's celebration. Yesterday, if you were not aware, we kicked off our National Public Works Week. Office of Community Beautification hosted our third annual beautification conference. It was very, very well attended, and we had such a great time all day. So that was good. Today, we have our board presentation, and I believe Commissioner Pelosa has something special in store for us today during board as well. And then we also have Accessing LA events happening the rest of the week, and then we cap off the week at the end Saturday with a big community cleanup that our Commissioner Pelosa is leading that effort, and so we hope to see you there also. So we have exciting times happening at Public Works. With that, I won't hold us up too much longer because I know we have heroes on the line, and I want to make sure that they continue to be heroes throughout today and every day. So we'll get started with that. Today, to continue our celebration of Public Works Week and the employees who make up the Department of Public Works, I am privileged to acknowledge and applaud some recent acts of heroism from our staff. This year's theme for Public Works Week is Stronger Together. This past year has really shown how true that theme is for our community now. We are stronger together when we are prepared for all possibilities, when we help out without hesitation, and when we work together towards a common goal. These public works employees exemplify these values. the values of public service, this the value of being just at the right time, at the right place, and at the value that they put somebody else first before them. This is what it means to be stronger together. That we need each other in order to succeed, to get past challenging times, and not just survive but thrive. This is why I'm so pleased to honor these public works heroes today who went above and beyond their job duties in order to help others. Now, I won't turn it yet to President Good because he'll do our first presentation. Commissioner Villegas will do our second presentation, and then we'll close it up with our heroes right after that. So I hope just stay tuned for a really nice special presentation. So with that, Cairo, can you lead us into the video that just kind of brings National Public Works Week together for us?
Definitely.
Hi, I'm Greg Good, President of the City of Los Angeles Board of Public Works. I'm here to kick off National Public Works Week in Los Angeles, which runs from May 16th to the 22nd. This week is celebrated annually throughout the country to recognize and highlight the important and outstanding work carried out by thousands of public works professionals across our nation. This year's theme, Stronger Together, is appropriate now more than ever before due to the unprecedented global pandemic we've collectively struggled through. We're so proud and grateful for the dedication our public works employees have demonstrated during this past year. Despite funding and staffing shortages, our frontline and behind-the-scenes workers have not only survived, but thrived and served our city. We deeply appreciate their can-do, relentless commitment and relentless energy. Although there is a light at the end of the tunnel, in an abundance of caution, this year's celebration will be, again, primarily virtual, in partnership with our city family and community partners. For more information on this year's events, please go to the link listed on the screen. Overseen by a 5-member board commission, Public Works is a multifaceted department with more than 5,000 employees in 5 bureaus: contract administration, engineering, sanitation, street lighting, and street services, as well as 10 board offices, including the Offices of Community Beautification, City Forest Management, Petroleum and Natural Gas Administration, Film and Television Production, and our newest, the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office. Collectively, we provide critical services to 4 million residents of Los Angeles and thousands of businesses. From refuse and recycling collection, street, sidewalk, and streetlight repairs, graffiti removal, tree canopy maintenance, and the design and building of public buildings and infrastructure, our women and men are making things happen. We also prioritize contracting opportunities for small, minority, women, and LGBTQ-owned businesses to partner with the city. Critically, the Los Angeles City Department of Public Works has long been a leader in environmental sustainability efforts, reducing our carbon footprint, tackling climate change through initiatives and programs that also enhance quality of life, job standards for public and private sector workers, civic pride, and public safety for all Angelenos. Public Works has proudly served the city of Los Angeles since its inception in 1906. And we look forward to doing so for many more years. For more information on Public Works, please visit our website. Meanwhile, thank you and happy Public Works Week.
Yay, President Good, you look like a superstar there.
Look at a movie star, huh?
I know. Should get him an award. He needs an award too.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Thank you for that, President Good, and leading the way our National Public Works Week. It's a special week, as we all know, and so this week we want to make sure that we don't bypass some of the big and heroism things that our good employees have done. So with that, President Good, are you ready to start our first recognition?
Yes, ma'am. And sorry you all had to bear through that, but
Great. That's great.
All right. Good morning, and yes, Vice President Garcia, it is my pleasure. And Jonathan and Carlos, bear with me if I mispronounce a little bit. But my My pleasure, it's exciting to be able to introduce Jonathan Trung and Carlos Aldape Torres from LA Sanitation. Some of you may have heard this story. I still remember hearing about it and being just flabbergasted. It's amazing, and one of those things that too often we take for granted, the decisions that we have to make in critical moments, and I mean moments. And these two gentlemen really exemplified selflessness and quick thinking, and just a empathy for fellow humans that is something I think we all work to embody in public works, and they crystallized on a fateful day, although it could have been much more fateful. On January 25th, 2021, Jonathan Trung, who's a chemist, and Carlos Oldape Torres, a lab tech from the Pollution Assessment Section in the LA Sands Watershed Protection Division, were out doing their routine collections of water samples and calibration of their equipment. A fairly standard day that turned very unstandard. Due to their location, they received a call to stop by the Wilmington Drain to conduct routine maintenance on the auto sampling equipment in preparation for an upcoming storm. When Jonathan and Carlos arrived, the water level was much higher than normal due to the rain before. It's January, a rainy season, if it's such a thing anymore. They noticed a man walking along the PCH in their direction. By the time Jonathan and Carlos exited their vehicles to perform their work, they noticed that the man was in the water, and that he seemed to be struggling to keep his head above water. It appeared to them that the man was not able to swim. Jonathan and Carlos called to him several times to see if he needed help, but did not get a clear answer. Carlos called 911 as Jonathan made his way down the same path that the man had entered the water from. Jonathan decided to jump in to help the man. And so from the slippery bank, there was a steep drop off into the frigid water, and Jonathan was not able to touch the bottom. This was deep water. He swam out 8 feet to the man and brought him back to shore. He swam out 8 feet to the man and brought him back to shore. Carlos and a passing driver were there to help pull them onto the bank to rest. Soon after, paramedics and a fire truck arrived on the scene to assist. The paramedics questioned the man to determine his condition, and eventually he left on his own. Jonathan was also checked out but suffered no injuries, though he did swallow some water, which Jonathan, I'm sure, must have been scintillating. As a precaution, as a result, he worked from home for a while self-quarantining. Jonathan, Carlos, y'all showed not just quick thinking, but compassionate, selfless thinking, and you saved a man's life, and that is genuine heroism. That is something we should all marvel at and appreciate, and we all congratulate the two of you on being heroes for us. So thank you both. Thank you for doing what you did, and congratulations on being heroes, though you don't need us to tell you that. So thank you, gentlemen. Y'all like to say anything?
Yeah, thank you for that wonderful introduction, President Good, and great recap of what happened that day. I think me and Carl actually prepared a little bit of a statement to say for this meeting.
Yes, of course. Yeah, thank you for the introduction. Pardon me. First and foremost, I would like to thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you to the Board of Public Works members, LA Sanitation and Environment, and my group Pollution Assessment Section for the opportunity of being part of this group. Also, I would like to thank Channel 35 and the council member for District 15, Joe Buscaino, and the California Police Club for letting us use their platforms to share our story. What happened at the Wilmington Drain on January 25th was a human act that my partner Jonathan and I encountered. Our will to save someone's life is invaluable. As city workers, we serve our citizens, whether by improving the health of our environment or by offering a helping hand to those in need. We didn't only have the tools needed to rescue a man drowning, but a physical and mental strength, a vast knowledge, and a big sense of humanity. Uh, we humbly accept this recognition. My partner and I hope these serve as an example to our fellow citizens, city workers, Angelinos, and beyond to respond with acts of kindness and pay forward. Also, I want to acknowledge the sense of humanity that our beloved former manager, Vivian Marquez, who passed away last August 2020 due to COVID complications. She was advocating for our group all the time. So she was sharing like all her joy and her sense of humanity. Like yeah, like she taught us like all those values. So we share it like, by doing the rescue. Uh, Her example lives within us, and we delivered it during the rescue activity. Small things that can create a chain reaction to help improve our communities and environment in whatever way we can. Yeah, that's our number one priority. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Jonathan. All right. Thank you all so much. And Vice President Garcia, the gavel's yours.
Thank you. I was just wanted to open up the floor to the other commissioners if they wanted to say something to Carlos and Jonathan.
Sure. I want to, Mike Davis here, President Pro Tem of the board, and I want to commend Jonathan and Carlos both for this hero act that you both were involved in. And many days we in public service say that the work that we do helps to improve the quality of life for others. But nothing can surpass absolutely saving a life. That's what you have done. In the truest sense of the word, you both have contributed to something that is something you will remember for a lifetime. And not only you will remember it, we will as well. This is, I think, the ultimate act of humanity, is to save the life of another. And you truly are deserving of hero status, much more than many other activities we could be engaged in. You have reflected, perhaps, man's most proudest activity. And again, that is saving the lives of others. And so you make me proud to be an employee of the city of Los Angeles in general because of the activities in which you all have engaged. And this is something for which you cannot necessarily rehearse. And yet it's something that people would perhaps naturally have an inclination to do. And you have absolutely done it. And again, I am so proud of you, each and every one of you, Carlos and Jonathan, for the work that you have done. Thank you so very much for being you.
Thank you for those kind words.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to iterate. I'm very thankful for Carlos and our group in general, because I think I feel like we were only able to act so quickly and with such success because of the great protocols we have in place. Anytime we go to any field event, we have a partner with us, and I don't know what I would do if Carlos was there to act in accordance with everything I was doing, and it just worked out very well that way.
Right. And I think an additional thing is that oftentimes people try to do it and they put their own lives in jeopardy by trying and attempting to do it. But it's a natural reaction to want to save the life of another. And you were able to do it successfully. And again, I can't just tell you how proud we are to have in our midst city employees who have committed the ultimate accomplishment in life, not in the city, but in life. And nothing surpassed the act that you have been able to experience. For me, I will tell you that what you have done surpasses many things that we could have ever accomplished in life, whether it is a degree, whether it is buying a new home, whether it is buying a new car. To have saved the life of another, and the way I see it, must be just really a remarkable experience to be the actor and having to help that thing happen, to help make sure that a life was saved. It has to be the ultimate experience of a human being.
Thank you very much. I
Yes.
really appreciate the work. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Calosa?
Thank you, Vice President Garcia, and I echo the words of what everyone said. You are all heroes, and I think you demonstrate that in the work that you do every day, but especially on this occasion, that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, and that stepping in to do the right thing to help save a life is an incredible act, and I hope that more people in our city family know about this story and feel inspired about how they can also be leaders and heroes in this way if that opportunity presents itself. And you guys didn't think twice, and you acted, and that resulted in saving somebody. And so I'm just fortunate for all of you and all your service. And thank you. I wish we could honor you in person, and hopefully that's something we can do very soon. But yeah, we're so proud of you, and thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Commissioner Villegas?
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Of course, I echo the sentiment as well of my colleagues, and just going into cold water to be able to save somebody else's life is selfless. Congratulations. There aren't enough accolades that we can possibly give for your true inspiration. A true joy to be a part of the Los Angeles City family.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just wanted to add a quick note to that. The water was actually very cold. I want to again thank Carlos, because Carlos literally gave me the shirt off his back to help keep me warm after coming out. So thank you again for that, Carlos.
Wow. The story gets even better. Wow. Congratulations to you both. Well-deserved recognition. More, like my colleague said, if we can give you more, we would. But thank you so much for just being part of our family.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You.
And with that, thank you for sanitation. We moved to our set. We actually had 2 sets of heroism happen last year. So today is only the best day. It's only well-deserved to give them this recognition today during National Public Works Week. So with that, I'll pass it along to Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. It is indeed a privilege to be able to recognize more than one bureau, and I'm sure that throughout our whole city family, there's other untold stories, but to recognize individuals for their selfless acts is amazing. We had one such just this year on February 17th, 2021, at approximately 8:30 a.m., Mr. Ryan Rivera noticed that his coworker, Elliot Galindo, was not feeling well. And at the moment, Mr. Galindo began to faint. And Mr. Rivera was able to catch him, preventing him from falling to the ground. Mr. Rivera then began to perform CPR on Mr. Galindo until the paramedics arrived. Ryan Rivera started his career in Streets LA just 2 years ago, and he's a maintenance and construction helper and is assigned to crew number 165. Ryan completed CPR training in 2010. Thanks to Ryan's training in CPR and his situational awareness during a non-so-ordinary workday, he was able to assist his colleague until the paramedics arrived. His immediate response to his coworkers' needs makes him a hero in the city of Los Angeles. We applaud him and appreciate his foresight and helpfulness. Congratulations. And I just wanted to add also, being able to know your situation, being able to know everything that's going on and acting so quickly is a true heroism. And able to maintain Mr. Galindo alive. I don't know if he's, he's a father or he's a brother or he's a relative to someone, keeping other people surrounding, especially for our City of Los Angeles family. True blessing. Congratulations. Do you want to say something, or does anybody from Streets LA want to say something?
Well, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I just want to thank you guys for acknowledging what I did, but I feel like I did something that I would hope that anybody else would do for me, and I'm glad that Ellie's still with us. She's an excellent worker and an awesome friend, so thank you for the recognition.
Very good. So, Teresa, I want to comment too on behalf of the board. Once again, I commented on the lives that have been saved in a prior presentation before you, John. But I want to also equally say to you how proud we are that you have saved the life of someone else. And also that you were observant enough, because oftentimes we don't, we are not as observant as we should be. When we are in certain situations. And I think it speaks to your keen observation, first of all. And secondly, we are proud that you do know CPR, and it makes me think how important it is for all of us here and at home to know CPR. I also want to thank my colleagues who recognized you this morning, because you're the second person that they have recognized that has saved lives, which has given me a greater value and appreciation for public works, because not only are we improving the infrastructure in the city of Los Angeles, but we have the same kind of values among our employees who value life. And so I thank the commissioners who have had a focus on the quality of the personalities and the characters of the individuals who work for our department. And you are high among those. And again, I commend you for saving lives, and I'm beginning to believe that Public Works is the department where the employees save lives. So that's a good thing. And congratulations, John.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas and Commissioner Davis. President Good is raising his hand. I'm eager to talk.
Yes, we do save lives. We save lives literally and figuratively, directly and indirectly. And Ryan and Jonathan and Carlos are great examples of that. Ryan, another example of what I think is so interesting, and it speaks to the culture of this department, and I mean Public Works writ large, is being individuals and teams of action. What's so easy, I think, for folks in situations like Ryan looked at and Carlos and Jonathan looked at, is to freeze. And you didn't. You acted. You saw a problem and you acted, and that's really impressive. So I would echo Dr. Davis. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll say quick words too, Brian. Thank you for doing what you did, and your words were short but very meaningful, and I can feel that they came from the heart, and I can feel you working from the heart. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you for just being so quick on your feet, and thank you for not being scared of actually doing CPR. I think some of us get trained on CPR, but then it's like we hope we never get to do it, right? Because I think I don't even know how I would do it, but I just have to say thank you for paying attention to everything, because you really just put that all together and made something, you saved somebody's life. And like Commissioner Villegas said, that was somebody's brother, sister, father. We don't know. I don't know if, what kind of family he has, but I'm sure the family is very grateful to you and for doing what you did. So as a vice president, I just thank you for being such an important person at the right time. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to pass it to Commissioner Calosa, and I think your director, Mr. Adel Hashkali, might want to say a few words.
Thank thank you, Vice President Garcia, and I echo everyone's sentiments again, and I think it continues to elevate and raise awareness of how any one of us can be in this situation, and how we, and we're so fortunate that we had incredible leadership and staff in both of these scenarios who were trained and ready for any scenario that was thrown in their way. And so I think that, it brings a lot to the table in terms of our readiness as a team. And I feel so hopeful in what that looks like, because I know that you're all out there in the field and you're, like what everyone said, ready to save lives. So thank you so much for your incredible service and for stepping in when it was needed. So thank you for your service. And hopefully, like I mentioned, we can honor you in person and do justice to really the heroism that you've showed. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Pelosa. Adele, would your team want to say something?
Yeah, great. Good morning, everyone, and thank you. Congratulations to everyone, the LA San Heroes, and to Ryan. Ryan, thank you on behalf of Streets LA and the team in Streets LA. We're a family. Public Works is a family. We all take care of each other, and this is an example. I'll tell you, it's our mission is enhancing the quality of life for all, and including our workers, people. We save lives. That's what we do by the work we do every single day, fixing streets, fixing sidewalks. It's all about making people's lives better. And I'm reminded by a quote by Jackie Robinson, is life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. If every one of you, everyone, Ryan, you impacted people's lives every single day, but that day you saved somebody's life. You saved the father of a family. And I would just say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being there, for being a hero, for being a kind person. We all have to be kind, especially nowadays, to remember who we are. We're fortunate to have a job. We're fortunate to have a good life. Always remember people that are in need. But when a friend, colleague is in need of help, we step in, and Ryan, you're the example. So I salute you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of everyone. And hopefully I can see you in person, give you a big hug, and hopefully we can have lunch. But remember, what you do every day, you're saving lives every single day. That happens with everyone. Doesn't matter whether you're engineering, street lighting, sanitation, Con Ed, Streets LA, Public Works saves lives. I think that's the message now. We need to do that. President Good, that's a new slogan. We save lives.
That is it.
So it's get ahead of police on fire. So we do that. So right. I salute you and thank you for the recognition for all the staff. And Ryan, I love you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If I may, this is Michael Cox, Superintendent for Streets LA. I'd like to add, regarding Mr. Ryan Rivera, he's only been with us, as we stated, for a couple of years, but he's already demonstrating showing compassion for others and saving lives and working with his fellow coworkers. But also, I want to point out that Mr. Rivera was unfortunately a victim of a crime shortly after he saved his coworker's life. He was rendered unconscious in looked like a botched robbery attempt, but he has been under a doctor's care, and he's recovering right now. So I just like to wish him a speedy recovery. Make everyone aware that he is recovering at this time, but he's doing quite well, and we just wish him a speedy recovery. And again, thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much to you.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Cox, for that, and Adele, and everyone. And Ryan, we wish you the best. Like I said to the other guys, the story gets even better and better. Not that what you went through is better, but the fact that you're you're just part of life, and you gave another life. So sorry for what happened to you, but congratulations. You know, thank you for helping us. It's what I really want to say. Thank you. Thank you for that. And we wish you the best.
And hang in there.
Yeah. We look forward for you coming back. So let us know let us know when you're back in action again.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Say hello to your family and give your family your regards, because we do appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, I think we need to wrap it up because it looks like there's a fire drill happening. So we'll wrap this up really quickly.
It's got to be a test. It's got to be a test.
It has to be. All right, we'll wrap up National Public Works Week. So if it's not a test, we'll go from there. Thank you again to Jonathan, Carlos, and Ryan for your heroic actions this year. You represent the public works staff who go above and beyond the call of duty in serving our community. And next year, our own logo will be Public Works Saves Lives. Thank you. With that, happy National Public Works Week. Enjoy the week, and just thank you for being part of our Public Works family. All right, President Good, back to you. You're on mute.
As a point of privilege, I would ask your indulgence, colleagues, and while we've got so many folks on here. Are we okay? Okay. Public work saves lives, but ours are not at risk at the moment. Good. Okay. Are we good? We haven't heard any announcements. Proceed. Keep going. Okay. Okay. So we'll let you know. Well, we're waiting for Fernando. If the city hall's on fire, we'll let you know. I do think this presentation, while we're waiting for Dr. Campos, this presentation I think is particularly appropriate given the theme of this National Public Works Week and given what we've all been through. The theme, as folks know, of this year's National Public Works Week is Stronger Together. And it couldn't be more appropriate. Again, at the risk of being indulgent, I will just say that during my time with the city, both in the mayor's office and now for almost a year as board president, I have been ceaselessly amazed and impressed by the breadth and depth of the work our employees accomplish, their relentless commitment, and their sense of possibility, especially as we've collectively navigated to, and continue to grapple with multiple existential crises this year. We have been stronger together. We are stronger together, and we will be stronger together. We're all, aware there's some folks in the current national debate about public works and infrastructure who choose to take a very narrow view about what infrastructure is. We do not. Public works and infrastructure is certainly capital projects, from streets and bridges and buildings to street lights, water reclamation plants, pipelines, sidewalks, etc. However, public works and infrastructure is also the facilitation, the cultivation, and the stewardship of human capital, of opportunity, and of equity. Your Department of Public Works, all of you, is working to make sure people are paid a living wage. They are hired from communities reflective of our rich diversity, and that they are trained for career paths. We make sure that our capital projects work in tandem with an environment in which we can breathe safely, we can get shade, eventually drink our own recycled water, and live and work in a clean environment. We thrive as an engine of opportunity, creating jobs for young adults, facilitating capital for businesses ranging from film and television studios to, and we will talk about later, small contractors working to grow into prime city partners. And moving forward, we will do all of this through the lens of our most vulnerable frontline communities, with a commitment to institutionalizing those voices and ensuring that environmental and economic justice lives, thrives, and is a hallmark of the City of Los Angeles and of Public Works. The women and men of Public Works, you're all superstars, and you suit up every day and act on this mission every day, pandemic or not. Based on that, I personally have no reason to feel anything other than fired up about what we're all going to achieve as a Department of Public Works and what we're going to achieve as a city. So thank you all, Public Works. We do save lives, and I just want to recognize not only Jonathan and Carlos and Ryan, but the universe of superstars, the 5,500 plus superstars that is Public Works. Thank you all, and happy Public Works Week. It's exciting. I didn't mean to cue a clap, by the way. All right, so do we have Dr. Campos back?
Yes, I am back.
Oh, there we go. Oh, he's back. We got him.
We're trying to assess the scenario here at City Hall, whether we have to evacuate or not. So they have not told us to evacuate yet, but we are on standby.
And I think we're going to plow forward, and then we'll see where we're at from there. Dr. Campos, I know they're going to let us know, that's for sure. They're not the bells of City Hall are not shy, as we all know. Okay, so with that, let's go to and thank you, Vice President Garcia. Thank you very much. That was great. And congratulations on the OCB conference, or the Office of Community Beautification Conference, KLAB, yesterday, hosted by Vice President Garcia. Thank you, and congratulations, Commissioner Colosa, on the roster of events that she is making happen. And thank you, Teresa and Mike, for the continued work, and we have more to come over the course of the week. All right, so let's do some public works work. Item number one is the receipt of bids. We've got bids for, first project is collection systems. This is an Ethan Wong special. Collection systems, Bradford Carbon Scrubber Facility Upgrade, CIP 7190. Richmond Carbon Scrubber Facility Upgrade, CIP 7191. Humboldt Carbon Scrubber Facility Upgrade, CIP 7194. Bayona Carbon Scrubber Facility Upgrade, CIP 7195. And Dakota Carbon Scrubber Facility Upgrade, CIP 7196. These are work orders number SZC 12797, SZC 12916, SZC 13276, SCZ 13277, and SCZ 13278. Estimated cost and price is $11,439,000, and this project will take place in CDs 1, 2, 11, and 14. Kumi and Dr. Campos are here with us to open up. In case anyone's worried about us here in the building, the alarm voice, the ubiquitous voice, just confirmed the alarm to be false. So, sorry, folks. For the record, we had a problem here, I'd feel safer because I know Ryan Rivera is in the building. So just to be clear, Ryan will rip off his shirt and have his public works cape on, and we'll be in good shape. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President, for adding on
The second bid received is from Myers and Sons Construction LLC for a total bid amount of $10,877,400 even. That's 10877,400 from Myers and Sons Construction LLC. The third bid received for the first project is from Metro Builders and Engineers Group Limited for a total bid amount of $8,781,695 even. That's 8781695 from Metro Builders and Engineers Group Limited. For the record, the total bid amount has been lined out and initialed by the contract. Next bid for the first project is bid number 4 from J.F. Shea Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $9,218,000 even. That's 9218000 from J.F. Shea Construction Incorporated. The fifth bid is from Murray Plumbing and Heating, doing business as Murray Plumbing, for a total bid amount of $10,628,898 even. That's 10628,896 from Murray Plumbing and Heating, doing business as Murray Plumbing. The sixth and final bid received for the first project is from Environmental Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $10,294,383 even. That's 10294,383 from Environmental Construction Incorporated. For the record, line item 39 has been lined out by the contractor and is actually, Mr. President, that concludes the bid opening for the first project.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Campos. So second project is Council District in Council District 2, Tiny Home Village, Staticoy in Witsit. This is working with E1908757. Estimated cost of the project $5,270,350.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, open up the bid for the second project. We received one bid for this project. The first and only bid is from 4EC Incorporated for a total bid amount of $4,844,747 even. That's 4844747 from 4EC Incorporated. President, that concludes the bid opening for the second project and all bids.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Thank you, Kumi. All right, do I have a motion to accept these bids?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. I'll take yours as a second. Commissioner Colosa, any concerns? Dr. Davis or Garcia?
No concerns from me, Mr. President.
None for me either, thank you.
All right, hearing no concerns, the bids are received and accepted forthwith. Thank you all very much. All right. Everyone, by the way, please note the mask. Very important day today. All right. Item number 2. Item number 2 is a project in CD4. This is a request for qualifications. Los Angeles Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Capital Improvement Project 4210. Bear with me, this is a long one. Recommending the board, 1, authorize the Director of the Bureau of Sanitation to distribute and advertise the transmitted RFQ for the purpose of establishing a pre-qualified list of ozonation and biologically activated carbon filtration, O3, BAC, system package suppliers to be included in the specifications bid documents for the Los Angeles Glendale Water Reclamation Plant, LAG, WRP, Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility. I'll skip the acronym. 2, evaluate and qualify the respondents based on the requirements set forth in the RFQ and develop a recommended list of pre-qualified O3 BAC system package suppliers to be included in the specifications bid documents for the LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Project. 3, distribute and advertise the transmitted RFQ for the purpose of establishing a pre-qualified list of membrane filtration system package suppliers to be included in the specification bid documents for the LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Project. 4, evaluate and qualify the respondents based on requirements set forth in the RFQ and develop a recommended list of pre-qualified MF system package suppliers to be included in the specifications bid documents for the LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Project. 5, distribute and advertise the transmitted RFQ for the purpose of establishing a pre-qualified list of reverse osmosis membrane system package suppliers to be included in the specifications bid documents for the LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Project. 6, evaluate and qualify the respondents based on requirements set forth in the RFQ and develop a recommended list of pre-qualified RO membrane system package suppliers to be included in the specifications bid documents for the LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Project. 7, distribute and advertise the transmitted RFQ for the purpose of establishing a pre-qualified list of ultraviolet disinfection and UV advanced oxidation process system package suppliers to be included in the specification bid documents for the LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Project. And 8, evaluate and qualify the respondents based on the requirements set forth in the RFQ and develop a recommended list of pre-qualified UVD, UV, AOP system package suppliers to be included in the specifications bid documents for the LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Demonstration Facility Project. Work order SZL11238. I got through it. I believe, Ryan, are you with us today on this one?
Yes, sir. Thank you, President Goods, for your patience in reading out the full 2 pages.
No problem. I made it through. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Ryan D. I'm the Assistant Division Manager with the Water Reclamation Division of the LA Sanitation and Environment. Water Reclamation Division operates this LA Glendale Water Reclamation Plant. So quick introduction. LAG, in short, is located in the North Atwater neighborhood of Council District 13, right next to the LA River Bike Path, and North Atwater Park, and some equestrian areas. So LAG is one of the 4 water reclamation plants that are operated by LA Sanitation and Environment. For this particular item, LA San working together with Bureau of Engineering to implement an advanced water purification demonstration facility that will utilize state-of-the-art water treatment technology, which includes ozone bioactivated carbon, or ozone BAC, microfiltration, or MF, reverse osmosis, RO, and UV disinfection and advanced oxidation process. So this is a demonstration project, small-scale project that will produce between 60 to 80 gallons per minute of advanced treated water. So typically we go by MGD, but for this demonstration project, the flow rate is gallons per minute. The facility will be used as an education demonstration facility. It will be open to public during the normal business hours. We want to demonstrate that we can reclaim the water to the highest possible quality using those technology. It will also provide a training facility for our existing staff to be able to operate, maintain some of the equipment that we don't typically use for conventional water treatment process. We'll be able to work with local universities and schools to do research projects and do testing and all that. So that's one of our goals. Another good thing about this facility is it has a greenway, or what we call water features component, that uses the water, advanced treated water from the facility, and provide open space for the community because it's open to public. So we're really proud of the fact that we're tackling a lot of issues, providing a lot of opportunity to the general public in terms of education, public access. It could be public could be access to access to the facility from a river bike path adjacent at water park, also from the main LAG with the appointment. So the purpose of today's agenda is to request the board to authorize the Director of LA Sanitation and Environment to issue a request for qualification to pre-qualify the major advanced water treatment equipment vendors. As you have mentioned previously, there are 4 components to them. We want to be able to pre-qualify them. We using the criteria that we set forth in the board report. So the request for qualification will select top three equipment vendors, and we will create a list based on the criteria that we have selected. And the contractor, when the time comes for the construction, will be required to select one of the top 3 pre-qualifying vendors when the time comes. So the project cost for the equipment is approximately $2.5 million. The project currently at 90% design, and construction could start as early as summer 2022 with the expected completion date of 2025. So that summarizes our request for this item, and I'll be happy to take any questions or comments that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan, for that report. Really appreciate that. Let's open this up for questions and conversation. Colleagues, Commissioner Colosa, you want to kick us off?
Thank you, President Good. I actually don't have any questions at this time. I thought the board report was thorough, as well as Ryan's presentation on this. I think that it's an exciting facility, looking at the renderings about what this is going to be. And I just hopefully look forward to some fruitful results from what we get back. And this is just yet again another small project that your team is working on. So I actually don't have any questions, but I'm sure that probably shocks you. So you're all good on my end today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm pleasantly surprised.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa. President Pro Tem Davis.
Yeah, so Ryan, great report, and I don't have any questions either. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis.
Thank you.
Commissioner Villegas.
Hi, thank you. Just a few clarifying questions. Is this the same technology that you also have at Tillman?
This is, thanks for the question. This is more advanced. For the Tillman, we have 3 advanced treatment process. This one has ozone bioactivated carbon, so it's one additional component added to it. So it gives that a little bit more flexibility in terms of providing or getting close to drinking water standards.
Okay, thank you for that. And is there you're obviously putting out an RFQ for this? So there's an audience for it, correct? There's, it's not just, there is an industry that works towards this.
That is correct. That is the reason why we issued the RFQ. We want to be able to pick up the best that can provide the technology that we need, based on the water quality that we desire to have. Each treatment plant has, their distinct characteristics in terms of water. So we have a lot of data that we are working with. We know what we want, what the end goal. So, which is the reason why we're opening up to the industry that has a previous experience in terms of providing this level of water treatment for this scale of operation.
Okay. And this will be reclaimed water, is that correct?
That is correct. So the water that is going into this new facility is coming from Los Angeles Glanville Water Reclamation Plant, which is treated to the level of tertiary treatment. So additional treatment provided to the reclaimed water.
Wonderful. You're aligned with the mayor's goals with Green New Deal. Appreciate that. It seems like you guys are all doing different projects on all of your water reclamation facilities almost at the same time. Do you have in mind local universities that you'll be working with? What strikes me is the partnership and just, there's so many now that are really close to that area.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So we have two levels of coordination with the universities, and also with the LA Trade Tech, something like that. We do get a lot of our local community colleges for the wastewater treatment operators. They have classes that provide certification. So we want to be able to work with those local community colleges and trade technical trade colleges that teaches those classes, and we want to be able to offer this facility for them to use in the future. With the other universities, we have a good track record of working with UCLA, local USC, Cal Poly Pomona. So those are all the universities that provide workforce to us. So we want to be able to bring the students early on, get them to be familiar with the quality that we want. That way we're ahead of the curve in terms of providing the workforce that we need in the future. So that's one of
That's excellent. Yeah, thank you. And Occidental is just down the street as well. It's opportunity.
Thank you for that. Yes.
I really appreciate your report. Thank you. It was very thorough. I have no more questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Villegas. Vice President.
Thank you, President Good. I actually don't have any questions. Commissioner Villegas actually took the one question I had, if this was the same technology at the Tillman plant. So let me just ask more on that then. Do you also have the same equipment? And I'm suspecting the answer is yes, because I think we've approved this. Also in the Hyperion plant, right?
Yes. So the treatment process is very similar, but the scale and the scope is a little bit different. So for Hyperion, I believe it's 1 mtg, million gallons per day. So the technology is the same, but the type of equipment that they use, the pumps and metering, all that are a little bit different than this project. This project being pretty small, we're looking at gallons per minute instead of million gallons per day. So the technology is the same, but the sizing is a little bit different. So that's yeah.
And last question then, the outcome for all three of these advancement purification projects is the same?
Correct. In terms of the final use, for this project is a little bit different because we have the water features where the public will have direct body contact. They'll be able to touch the water. We'll be able to provide 25 samples to drink from the facility as required by the.
For this one in the Glendale area?
This one in the yes. So for this project, we're one step farther than the rest of the advanced water purification. In fact, that in the sense that we're able to provide sample waters to the public, not to exceed 25 samples a day. I believe that's a regulation. And they will be able to touch the water. We have water pumps and different water features that the public can interface with. So that's something different than Hyperion or Tillman or other facilities. Okay. The other facilities are kind of designed for indirect potable use, where it goes through the groundwater aquifer and it will be pumped up again and treated again for public use.
I see. Okay, so the only place to taste the water, to taste good water, will be at the Glendale area. The other two are going to be used for something different.
That is correct.
Okay, got it. I'm clear now. Thank you so much, Ryan, for answering those questions. President Good, I'm good with questions.
Thank you. The water from Hyperion, those will go into the aqueducts, or those will go into, or that water will go into the filtration, natural filtration, right?
That is correct.
Great. And just in a Flintstone characterization, Ryan, basically what we have here is multiple pieces of the ultimate project. You create lists so that you're going to have choices for those different pieces, and you'll be on the ready to move forward.
That is correct. So we have 4 different FEMA units. For each FEMA unit, we want to pre-qualify top 3. So at the end, we'll have 12, a total of 12 pre-qualifying vendors that contractors can choose from. That went through the proper evaluation process.
That's great, which makes sense when the design build, sort of happening. You've got them ready as you're going. So, okay. Excellent report. Thank you very much, Ryan. I agree with Commissioner Close. I mean, look at the renovation. This is going to be a really just fantastic project, and really continue pushing us to the next phase of water management. So it's very exciting. Thank you. I will motion to move the item forward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Garcia, Colosa, Villegas, any concerns or objections?
None.
All right, hearing none, the item is adopted forthwith. Thank you very much, Ryan. Have a great weekend. Great week, okay?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, man. Okay, colleagues, that brings us to item number 3. Item number 3 is in C5. This is a hearing appeal. Sewer service charge residential adjustment for 3930 Royal Oak Place. Recommending the board deny the appeal of the Bureau of Sanitation determination that limited the refund of the sewer service charges to 1 year prior to the adjustment request. Bureau of Sanitation's determination was based on the California Government Code Section 911.2A, which states in relevant part, a claim relating to any other cause of action shall be presented as provided in Article 2, commencing with Section 915, not later than 1 year after the accrual of the cause of action. Case law has interpreted this section to mean that a claimant can only recover the damages for the past year immediately prior to the date of the claim. Andrew Piers is with us this morning to essentially walk through the facts of the case. You have the report with my recommendation. And Dr. Campos, do we have, is the appellant with us?
Mr. President, Fernando Campos, no indication that the appellant is on the line. We were looking for E-Mobile Air or Levon. He was not on the line at the beginning of the meeting. I did not see any member.
President Good, I believe staff had addressed this issue.
Okay.
They've been in communication with the appellant.
He let me know that something came up and he was going to be unable to make it.
Okay. All right. So they're fully aware and of all of the above, correct?
Yeah, we checked several times throughout the day this morning.
Okay. Great. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Campos. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. And Mr. Peters, something's going on with your screen, unless it's just me. This will make for an interesting presentation.
It just started right now.
Literally, okay, it's going to stop. It's going to stop when you start giving your presentation. So why don't you go ahead and walk everyone through.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Piers, and I work for the Residential Sewer Service Charges for LA Sand and Environment. To summarize the case, on April 16th, 2018, the appellant applied for a sewer service charge for the premises 3930 Royal Oak Place on the basis of a pool refill. During LA Sand's investigation into whether the pool refill adjustment was warranted, it was determined that the property had 2 separate water meters and 2 separate sewer service agreements. In order to evaluate the adjustment request, we had to do a field check, which was commenced on August 30th, 2018. Staff from RSSC conducted a field investigation. It was determined that one of the meters was for irrigation use only. Thus, it was not subject to any sewer service charges. And so we granted them an exemption going back 1 year from when they wrote in, pursuant to the California Government Code and also the City Charter Section 350. They received $906.40, which refunded all of the sewer service charges from March 14th, 2017 through January 12th, 2019, and exempted that water meter from any further sewer service charges.
They filed an appeal and stating that it was the error on LA San and the Department of Water and Power that led to them being incorrectly charged the sewer service charges, and therefore that they were entitled to all of the sewer service charge since the original assessment. There was a phone hearing held on December 10th, 2020, with President Good, LA San, and the appellant. The appellant stated that they were unaware that they were paying sewer service charges on both meters because there was confusion from them having two separate DWP accounts, and also that the bills were unclear. They also stated that LA San and DWP were aware that the second meter was for irrigation use only. Following the hearing, we looked into these claims that the bills were unclear, that there was confusion with the two accounts, and also that we were made aware of it, or that DWP was made aware of it. We looked into the second account, and it was discovered that that was account that was used for electrical charges for November 9th, 2011 only for one day, and was charged $1.22. It had never been charged sewer fees, and so it had no bearing on the case, had never had anything to do with sewer. We also looked at one of their bills to see whether it was unclear that they were being charged two sewer surcharges, and you can see on their bills that it's there's two different sewer charges listed for the same date range for different amounts of water for the two separate meters being charged. Part of their claims that we were made aware that there was an irrigation-only meter was that they had requested a construction exemption. Those construction exemptions were June 1st, 2009 and April 1st, 2010. Both of the sewer exemptions for construction were granted, and the termination letters were sent. Both termination letters said there would be a end date for the construction exemption, with the last of them being March 15th, 2010. After the construction exemption, sewer service charges were to be restarted on the property for the one existing meter at the time. The second meter was not even installed until May 11th, 2011. So it's over a year after the construction exemption had already ended. So the construction exemption has no bearing on the irrigation-only meter because it didn't exist at the time. We searched into the records that LA San has, and we don't have any record of any communication from them between the time period of when the second construction exemption was sent and when they requested the pool refill exemption. And then we reached out to DWP to see if they had any record of this. Any records that we have access to, there's no mention of it. And then we reached out to them multiple times to see what they had in their records, and they had no indication that it was an irrigation-only meter at any time. The appellant submitted receipts for the second meter. There was no mention of it being irrigation-only at all. Since there are no special circumstances that exist in this case, they did not make LA San aware that it was irrigation-only meter prior to us investigating it due to the pool refill adjustment. That is why it's recommended that they deny the appeal pursuant to the California Government Code Section 91102A and City Charter Section 350. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Colleagues, we'll open this up. Any questions? President Pro Tem Davis? You're on mute, Mike.
Sorry about that. No questions for me on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Closa?
Thank you. No questions for me either on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Villegas?
I have no questions either. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Vice President Garcia?
No questions for me either. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all very much. Do I have a motion to approve this final rendering?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Do I have a second? Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any? I saw him. I saw you're muted, Mike, but I saw you mouthing your second. Colosa Garcia.
All right, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Any concerns or objections? Okay. I just didn't in due diligence. We'll do this as a roll call. Dr. Campos, can you call the roll on this one?
Absolutely, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Roll call and vote tabulation for item number 3, the hearing appeal to deny the appeal. President Good.
Aye.
Vice President Garcia.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Colosa.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
Thank you. This motion carries unanimous and it's approved.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Thank you, Andrew, and good work. And thank you, Ms. Mowry. See you there too.
President Good, this is Ted. So following the board's action, which you just took, if I could request that, probably through our executive officer, that the written determination and the report before the board can be the basis for that, perhaps with some type of indicator on the report that it has been adopted and the appeal has been denied, should now be sent to the appellant. There's further procedures laid out in the Municipal Code 64.41.07. So under that section, subsection K, we're to provide a written copy of the board's determination to the appellant. So Dr. Campos should be able to.
Just to confirm, that is our protocols, Mr. Jordan.
Excellent.
We do that already. And Mr. President, would you like to consider this item forthwith?
Yes, please. We'll adopt it forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Jordan, and thank you, Dr. Campos, very much. Okay, let's move on, friends and neighbors, to item number 4. Cameras come on. I see folks who are very excited about this one. We continue to drag Hannah Choi back to us. She can't get away. And we got John Reamer, all suited up, first time in a year. And a great group of folks. So item number 4 is small business procurement, community level contracts. This is a motion recommending that the board, 1, instruct the Bureau of Public Works to conduct an evaluation on their contracting opportunities to determine if it is an appropriate candidate as a community level contracting opportunity, and the findings included in the project reports being submitted to the Board of Public Works. 2, instruct the Bureau of Contract Administration to provide guidance to assist the bureaus in creating implementation strategies, plans, and evaluation methodologies for community level contracting. 3, instruct the Bureau of Public Works to provide a quarterly community level contracting report to the Board of Public Works showing the results of their community level contracting efforts. 4, request the Chief Procurement Officer to include, and I believe Ms. Hobbs is with us. Hi, Shannon. Request the Chief Procurement Officer to include the community level contracting efforts into the overall strategy of the technologies being developed to manage city procurement activities. And 5, encourage city departments not subject to the review of the Board of Public Works to adopt the community level contracting into their contracting operations, thereby making the city's contracting opportunities available to the most disadvantaged businesses in our region. This motion is led by, co-presented by President Pro Tem Mike Davis and Commissioner Colosa, and I will hand it over to y'all.
Great, thank you so much. I know President Pro Tem Mike Davis wanted to kick us off. President Pro Tem, are you there?
Mike? Dr. Davis?
He may be frozen. Let me text him.
I think he might be frozen.
As we're waiting for Dr. Davis to get back on video with us, I just want to say how proud I am to be part of what is literally an entire village of people working to make what's before us happen. And I'm actually, have so many people and teams to thank, along, of course, with my co-pilot on this effort, Dr. Davis. But really, community level contracting is about opportunity. It's about access, and it's about making sure that our small businesses specifically have more doors of opportunity open for them, especially in a time when we need to focus on economic recovery, and we know that they are a key part of what our strategy is going to be and look like as we reemerge from the pandemic. And so I'm gonna bear with me. I'm gonna take this point of privilege to read off this entire village of people and the city family that I've been talking about. And we have so many guests here because I know so many people are champions of community level contracting and champions of small business opportunities. But first, want to thank our city engineer, Gary Lee Moore, and of course, our public works inspector, John Reamer, for developing the concept that we now know as community level contracting. And you guys can clap at each one, or you can clap at the end, but I guarantee you will be clapping probably the entire time because I have about a page worth of names.
And every time we clap, it'll be for the right people too, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I want to thank Gary and John for all their hard work in pioneering what we have before us. I want to give next a big shout out to the team at the Bureau of Engineering, Julie Sauter, Arson, Bhaskar Chand, for their continued support, especially for the first CLC opportunity, which is the Bureau of Engineering Small Sidewalk Repair Program. That's really helped pioneer where we are today to really test this concept and make sure that we prove the concept of what we're trying to do, which is to break up these larger contracts into smaller, more manageable contracts so that smaller firms have the ability to bid on them and be successful and to get that experience to be a prime, which we know is sometimes hard to come by because they may not be as competitive for a larger package that might be a few $1,000,000, but something that is around $100,000 or $50,000 is a much more manageable contract for them to bid on. I also want to thank Fidel and Nate from the Bureau of Engineering, Michael Samuelon, and the Mayor's Office for their efforts as well as it relates to BOE's RFQ for the solar project and their work there to help make that opportunity possible. Next, I'd like to thank our team at LA Sanitation and Environment, Tracy Minamide, Tim DeFetta, Ollie Beasley, Sherry Kuroki, along with Nancy Layton, and the rest of the centralized contracts unit from LA Sanitation for the landscape maintenance RFQ, which we passed in board just last week. It was a record-breaking CLC week last week since we did 2 opportunities. And of course, Robert Potter as well for the mobile fleet washing services RFQ. From the Bureau of Street Lighting, we want to thank the former general manager, Norma Izahakian, the current general manager, Miguel Sangalang, Evelinda Pena, for their work on the Bureau of Street Lighting plus bench lighting installation, as well as Richard Sapling for the evaluation of the upcoming Wi-Fi contract as well. So more to come from the BSL team. Thank you so much, and thank you, Evelinda, for joining us this morning. From Streets LA, I want to thank our general manager, Adele Hashkawil, and Stephanie Clements for all their hard work, especially as it relates to looking at what's possible. I know we're still working on more opportunities, but I know you're all hard at work trying to identify what these opportunities look like. And we also want to give a special shout out to Greg Spots, who in his former life I found out was a branding person. And so that's how we got to our name, Community Level Contracting, because Greg Spots was the one who came up with this great branding for our initiative. Erin Henning at Department of Water and Power for her desire to use BOE's small sidewalk contractors list for sidewalk improvements around the DWP building. So even though this originated and is being led by Public Works, you can see that it's something that departments and teams and bureaus want to adopt citywide, and this is a great example of that. So thank you, Erin. And also to Vice President Susanna Reyes, who helped make that connection for us. From DOT, we have Kevin Ugura, Matt Talag, and Mr. Adhami, also for their desire to use BOE's small sidewalk repair contractors list for ongoing improvements for the ATSAC program, so thank you. Christopher Anyakwo from LA Mayor's Office for considering possibilities of incorporating CLC for their annual brush clearance contractors bench. So I know that was something that we were having conversations about. And then I wanted to save some of my favorites for last, and that's within our Public Works family and our procurement family, and want to thank Shannon Hopez, our Chief Procurement Officer, and her incredible team, Jessica Lopez for all her hard work, Andrew Choi for getting us across the finish line on this motion. Thank you so much. From the Public Affairs Office, Diana Bolnez and Sandra Donato for what's going to come out right after this when we pass, hopefully, this motion. And that's going to really outline the incredible work of all the bureaus and teams that I just mentioned here in a press release. From the Bureau of Contract Administration, Mr. Reamer is very lucky to have some incredible women behind this effort who have supercharged what CLC is now. Of course, Linda McGlinchey, who we all know and love, Sophie. We have so many people from the BCA team who work on this. And last but not least, somebody who is already retired, but we're finding more opportunities to bring her back. And somebody who championed this, of course, Hannah Choi, who has been so passionate about equity, about justice, about inclusion. Thank you so much, Hannah Choi, that we were so tempted to name this the Hannah Choi CLC, but she stopped us. But who knows, that may happen in the future, Hannah. No promises on my end. And as you see, we have an entire village of people who have been working on this. So I'm going to pause right there and see if Dr. Davis wants to say anything before we turn it over to then our Inspector of Public Works, Mr. Reamer, to give remarks, and then, of course, our Chief Procurement Officer, Shannon Hopez, and any one of our other bureaus who would like to say a few words. So, Dr. Davis, I'll turn it over to you if you'd like to say a few words.
Okay, Fernando, can you release my screen or something here? Well,
Commissioner, you should get an invite right there. There you go.
Okay, thank you for releasing that. It's certainly a great honor to have worked with Jessica Colosa, the Board of Contract Administration, the Chief Procurement Officer, as well as to acknowledge the Board of Engineering, the Bureau of Engineering, in terms of the prior work that they have done in establishing a small sidewalk contractors list, which is clearly an example of this good public policy that Commissioner Colosa has just been talking about that we present today. And I think it's appropriate to do so in the fact that this is Public Works Week. And also, this is reflective of the theme that together we in fact can be stronger, because from the back to basic principles of leadership that Mayor Eric Garcetti gave us when he first came to office and talked about creating jobs in Los Angeles for all of Los Angeles, and his reflection of the challenge that we had after the pandemic, and of course after the racial inequities that we have experienced throughout this country, and the implementation of Executive Order 27, which is his vision for the city to have inclusion. This public policy does all of that. And finally, I will say, what it does is it creates an opportunity for small and emerging businesses to get an opportunity to compete for more work in the city of Los Angeles. We create on an everyday basis great opportunities for work for our prime contractors. And it is our vision to do the same for every community in Los Angeles and for every kind of business, including small and emerging businesses. And thank you so very much for allowing me to make these remarks about this great public policy that we present today during Public Works Week.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Davis. And now I yield the floor to Mr. John Reamer.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm excited. I really am. I like the name, the Hannah Choi Community Level Contracting. Yeah, I know she wouldn't go for it. I know she wouldn't, but oh my goodness. This has been a long journey. It really has. And there's so many people to thank. Commissioner Colosa, you did a great job. To the board members, each and every one of you, thank you so very, very much. I mean, this was a small idea back in 2006, believe it or not, where Gary Lee Moore and I penned a paper on contracting in the city of LA, and one of the things that we spoke to was unbundling. And as I mentioned Gary, I cannot mention Gary without mentioning Enrique and Adele, Miguel, Norma, who was here, because it's so important for the bureaus to invest in this. I would say that this represents city personnel helping city people by establishing an environment that enhances equity. That's what this does. This says that we are courageous enough to care. We care about those small businesses in the city of Los Angeles wanting to foster an environment for them to grow and thrive and be everything they can be. If I were to come to you, President Good, and say, we have a program that we believe that if you implement this, on average, 3/4 of all of your bidders will be first-time bidders, what would you say? Well, that's what you have here. From the sidewalk program to the photovoltaic to the bus lighting, 3/4 on average of all of the bidders, and we're talking over 50 of them, are first-time bidders, meaning that they feel comfortable coming to the city of Los Angeles, the second largest city in the nation. They feel comfortable coming here and presenting themselves, asking for, competing for an opportunity to operate as a prime, not a sub, a prime. This is phenomenal. This is absolutely fantastic work. To you, board, congratulations. Your leadership, you've done this under our mayor. We are paving paths for those small businesses that are looking for hope. They're looking for that on-road, that on-ramp to opportunity, and this does that. It does that, so I am so excited, and I again thank and applaud every single bureau, every single one. The names that you mentioned, Commissioner Colosa, everyone that has taken the time to invest in this. It definitely is a we. It's definitely an us. And it's definitely for our city of Los Angeles. So thank you so much to all of our partners. And I don't want to leave out our proprietary partners who, you're absolutely correct, they've stepped up and they've utilized our list, and to our chief procurement officer, who has been a conductor, a band leader, pushing and helping this go forward. This is indeed a citywide effort that we should all be so proud of and celebrate today. So as we enjoy and embrace National Public Works Week, I so appreciate the acknowledgement before, those heroes, and the thought that we save lives. Well, again, I'll say it again. It's city personnel help city people, and that's what we do in the Department of Public Works. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reamer, for your incredible remarks. You're the best hype person for a CLC. To get us even more excited for this. And I think we just heard a second potential tagline for our department. City helping other city people. So I think that's incredible. And so and next we would like to bring to our virtual stage Ms. Shannon Hopez, our Chief Procurement Officer.
Thank you, Commissioner. whoever wants to be set up to go and follow Mr. Reamer, but I will do my best because we are really excited to be here to also celebrate with you. And thank you to the board, particularly to Dr. Davis and Commissioner Cloza for sponsoring this motion. And I just love the theme. Definitely, we've had to lean on one another. We have been stronger together to accomplish our goals, and it is so appreciated by my team and I. And we thank you for your dedication and your commitment to ensuring that community-level contracting is part of our contracting goals. And we know it's these type of initiatives that are critical in supporting our businesses, particularly as we recover post-COVID. We know this initiative gives our smaller businesses, as stated earlier, opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have to grow and be a part of our contracting community. So please know that my team is committed to streamlining and digitizing much of this process so departments will find it easier to do more of this work. So we celebrate with you. We look forward to our continued partnership and to what's ahead. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Hopez, for being with us. And the CPO team has been incredible in helping champion this effort. So we could not have done it without you, without the leadership of BCA, and everyone who's reflected here. It really took a village to get where we are today. And I'll pause there. And I know we have so many representatives from the teams that we just mentioned. Did anybody else want to make any few remarks, either from BOE or Streets LA or Street Lighting? I invite you now to share anything if you'd like.
I'll go. Hi, this is Stephanie Clements, Assistant Director of Streets LA. We commend you, Commissioner. This is really great, and we super support this program and these initiatives. Typically for Streets LA, most of our contracts that we utilize are awarded through GSD, so we don't have control of them. We do award about $20 million in contracts a year, and about half of that amount is through our as-needed contract trucker program, which is a community-level contracting opportunity. So we're proud to say that almost 50% of our dollars are similar to these initiatives. I like what Shannon is saying. It's very exciting. I think what we have to do as a city is to try to simplify the contracting process as much as possible, because that's really an impediment to small local businesses trying to put together a bid. You know, it's a lengthy process. It's sometimes a convoluted process. And, you know, we've got issues with payments. So there's things that I think the city just can keep working on to make it easier and easier for local small businesses to have a shot of real city dollars. So I thank you and I support you. And one last thing I do want to say, when a bureau has a win, it's really a win-win for the city because we can piggyback off of other bureaus contracting. So now that BOE has this sidewalk as needed list, Streets LA can piggyback off of that. I heard that maybe sanitation is doing an RFP or an RFQ for landscape maintenance. Streets LA now can piggyback off of that. So even though it's not Streets LA, we can use other departments or other bureau opportunities to further expand this. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Clements. I love the brainstorming that we're doing here about how to make this even bigger. I love it. Those are some great ideas. I think I saw Ms. Julie Sauter. Did you unmute?
Thank you. Thank you. This is Julie Sauter with the Bureau of Engineering. So this initiative is one of the reasons I love working for the Department of Public Works. So not only are we able to fix sidewalks, but we're also able to do it and grow our community contracting. So thank you for the support for the board and all of our other bureaus. One of the things on a day-to-day basis that I really like seeing is I see the communication with these first-time bidders. You know, whether it's our board, Public Works, you know, reaching out, you know, asking for bonds and insurances and making sure that these new first-time bidders have someone to reach out to so they can be successful. So look forward to all of, helping all of the other departments and my proprietaries learn from what we've done and be able to grow this community contracting throughout the city. So thank you. And just a little statistic, since we started this, we've issued over 25 contracts to these small businesses, almost $1.8 million. So looking forward to many, many years of growing this program, and we're here to support the Bureau and the rest of the city. So thank you, Commissioner, and this is a really great recognition and great seeing everybody here this morning.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Sauter, and thank you to BOE for helping pioneer our very first CLC opportunity. And I believe Ms. Tracy Minamide from LA San. Please go ahead.
Yes. Good morning. Tracy Minamide, Chief Operating Officer, LA Sanitation and Environment. Thank you, Commissioner Colosa and Commissioner Davis, for your leadership in all of this effort. It has been a little while in the making, and we were so excited to have our RFP approved last week for landscaping services, and really we see this as a win-win. I mean, we have a lot of yards and facilities throughout the city, and it's important for them to look good for our community. The outward-facing perception of public works and sanitation is important to uphold. So these landscaping services are really going to be beneficial for us, not only in terms of the greening that it will create, but also in the example we'll set by using California native landscaping and providing that perspective as well. And of course, the other side of the win-win is that we will be reaching out to the smaller businesses. We've come up with a very creative way of issuing specific jobs that will be sized so that the businesses we're contracting with will be able to use that as their stepping stone to growth. So I want to thank Ali Fisi and Tim DeFeda of LA Sand for their creative thinking in really figuring out a way to structure this so that it could work. We're very excited, and we are looking forward to the results, and we continue to think about other ways that we can incorporate community level contracting throughout sanitation. So again, thank you for your leadership and for all that creative thinking and motivation to get us doing things in different ways.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ms. Minamide. And last but not least, I don't know, Ms. Pena, did you want to say anything for street lighting?
Hi, Commissioner Colosa. Thank you very much for your support in this initiative. We, as with LA Lights, we're very excited to be a part of this, and we look forward to working with the smaller companies within our community to make our city better and brighter. So thank you. And so this is exciting. This is a very exciting day for all of us.
Thank you, Ms. Pena. I like how you threw that in casually about the lighting pun. I love it. And I think from our end, that concludes the remarks from our end. And, welcome my colleagues if they want to say any remarks before we move on the item. But I just wanted to end on this from my end, that as you can hear, doing this work is not the easy thing to do. Right? It actually requires more work from our city family, but we do this work because, as you can hear from everyone's remark, it's because everyone in the city family cares about really helping our small business community with really meaningful opportunities. And this is one of them. And I can see this 5-10 years down the line just being a completely big part of how we do contracting. And that each time that we come across an RFQ or an RFP, that we now have a meaningful way in which to ask our team, is there something here that could be a CLC opportunity? Can we create opportunities here for small businesses? And I think this is an incredible initiative to be able to do that in a lens in which will promote, as what was already mentioned, the broader goals of equity and diversity and inclusion that we're trying to achieve, that the mayor, I know, is champion for the entire city. So I just want to thank the entire team here for all their hard work on this and for your continuous support. And I'll turn it now back over to you, President Good, to hopefully let us vote on this item.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Colosa. Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. As Ms. Pena might say, that was an exceedingly illuminating presentation. It was really outstanding. You inspired me, Evelinda. So, I want to give our colleagues, my colleagues, an opportunity. I do just want to say this. One, Jessica and Mike, great job. Great job. And to everyone on this Zoom in all the departments or all the bureaus, great job. This is about small businesses. I have a question, and maybe John, I can ask you. Do we have a ballpark? And I'm not going to hold you to this. This is not for the record per se, but on the at least with the sidewalk program, and maybe Julie can answer this. The businesses of color that have had opportunities in the CLC program through the sidewalk program, and what we anticipate moving forward.
I don't know exactly the businesses of color, but we have about 60, almost 70% of those on our list are first-time bidders. And we do have, we see that these are first-time bidders to the city, and they really are reaching out, trying to learn the system and making partnerships with all of the city family, and having someone to go to answer their questions. So we do look forward. As you know, we have a $30 million a year sidewalk repair program for the next 30 years. So we do foresee, carving up a larger and larger portion of that for our community level contracting as we move forward. Anywhere from $1 million to $2 million a year are, set aside for this type of work.
Yeah.
Were you going to add anything?
Yeah, to build on that, President Good, for the sidewalk program, of our participants, 40% of them were able to identify as certified minority businesses. For the bus stop lighting, 63% were able to identify as certified minority businesses. So this clearly is a vehicle that not only identifies small, but it definitely addresses equity in this city. 9% women-owned businesses for sidewalk, 18% women-owned businesses for the bus stop. So this is a tool that has great opportunities to transform our contracting environment. And the more departments that participate in this, there's no telling what this can do. So this is a great first step to use the sports and equity. It's good to get out fast. This is a great getting out fast start. And we'll just continue to share the message wherever we go.
That's great, John. I'll say this quick, and then I'll hand it to my colleagues. We have been challenged to, invited to, appropriately forced to look with more intention and more just focus on issues of structural inequities, structural racism, structural discrimination over the last year. Shame on us that it took profound pain to force our city and so many folks, not that we haven't in the past, but to look more closely. And as the father of a 10-year-old, I think everyone here, a lot of folks here have kiddos. I've worked to explain to my 10-year-old the concept of structural inequity, of structural racism, of structural discrimination against women. And what so often we do as a society to deal with structural inequities is retail solutions. And what this is wholesale. This is actually addressing structural inequity with structural solutions. And that is just inspiring. This is meaningful This is the kind of thing that moves the needle, and it will continue to move the needle well past the time any of us here are even doing this. And that is something I'm proud to just be able to sign some things around and to just jump on the train of all of your collective work. So congratulations. I can't wait to push this everywhere, anywhere, anyhow, anytime we have the opportunity. And I'm grateful for the collective vision of everyone here. So thank y'all very, very much. Vice President Garcia, would you like to add anything?
Yes, thank you, President Good. Thank you all for doing this. This is like President Good just said. To me, this is a game changer. This is a better, such a good way to improve somebody's quality of life. And I say that as it trickles down, right? So this is a way for small businesses to just be part of this after a year of so much adversity that they went through. I feel like this is just like the small opening door that we're giving them, but it could be a lot. And so I'm excited that this is a realization now. I'm excited that this has come to fruition. I'm excited that it's very timely too. It's timely with Shannon Hoppus, Ellie Babin new platform. And so this is a new way to make sure that folks not only see your new platform, but also know how to navigate this new effort that we're doing. I can't thank you enough, to be honest, and I want Commissioner Colosa or Commissioner Davis or John Reamer, whoever, to present to an ad hoc small business advisory committee. I think they would benefit from this so much, but also just making sure that other small businesses understand and know how to be part of this new effort. So thank you. I won't take longer than that, but just thank you to everybody. Stephanie, I was happy to hear that there's an opportunity for the truckers to be part of this. I hope that does come true and we are able to provide that for them. I was happy to hear that where's the Bureau Street Lighting with our bus lighting efforts. I'm happy that that's come about, and just the fact that everybody's being part of it. It's a really stronger together. Hey, again, timely. I just want to say, here we are doing something to make folks stronger, and we're doing it together. It's so timely. I'm very excited to be part of this, and thank you, Commissioner Colosa and Dr. Davis, for leading this really amazing effort. And I'll stop there because I'm actually so excited about this.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. We feel it. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. Thank you, President Good, and thank you, Commissioner Colosa and Pro Tem Mike Davis. I really appreciate all the effort that went into doing this motion. These aren't easy, as Commissioner Colosa mentioned. It takes a lot of people to be able to bring this to fruition. I think that President Good and Vice President Garcia mentioned some of the things I was thinking about as well. With the protest and everything that we had last year, it really makes us just look inside, right, into our internal operations and see what we can do to improve communities. As one of 80 members in the city of Los Angeles, with our Latino commissioners, this is an issue that comes up repeatedly. And as Commissioner Garcia mentioned, this will help, lives. This will make an impact. Being here at the city for almost 2 years this fall, I didn't really know what the term city family meant, but it is, it's all embracing, and I really feel it. And I feel a part of it. And it's not just our staff that we're family with, it's, the actual residents, the folks that come in and out of our city daily, just to make their lives better. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Colosa, thoughts? Otherwise, let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, well, I want to help get it rolling, and I just want to say in summary that this great public policy allows us to meet the ethical challenges of leadership that many of you have already just recently discussed. And so for that, I'm eternally grateful. And a lot of my work centers around looking at 209 and the things that it says that people don't talk about. Because it says we shall not discriminate based upon color, gender, as well as it says we shouldn't single it out. So my work will continue in terms of helping us to look at this statewide policy we have and looking at some of the issues within that policy that are unrecognized and that we should talk about more. So again, I'm excited about this, and this great public policy piece and the individuals in the city family who have been responsible for it in contract administration and the chief procurement's office and the reflection of the leadership of our mayor in it is a wonderful thing, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, President Davis. Commissioner Closa?
I have nothing more to add. Let's get to work and vote on this.
All right, I think you need a second, and I'm just
Second.
You're
Okay.
You're an introducer. We got.
I see.
Actually, it's motion by Dr. Davis and seconded by Commissioner Caloza.
Oh, I thought it was co-presented. I saw it.
Yeah, we have it listed as a co.
Okay, so we got a motion from Davis, co, which means we got a second. Let's take a roll call vote on this, Dr. Campos.
Absolutely. President Good?
Aye.
Vice President Garcia?
Double ayes.
President Pro Tem Davis?
Aye.
Commissioner Caloza?
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas?
Aye.
This motion carries unanimous and it's approved. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody. Let's go let some contracts. All right.
Mr. President, would you like to consider this motion forthwith?
Oh, sorry. Yes, sir. So hearing no objections and unanimous, this motion is adopted and moved forthwith. Thank you, Dr. Campos. Okay. Thank you, everybody. You're welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to go. I know everybody's got work to do. So, but we have another really critical piece of work here. Item number 5. Item number 5 is protect and place healthy, mature trees. This is also a motion introduced by Commissioner Villegas. Protect and place healthy, mature trees, stage impacts from development projects. Recommending the board instruct the Bureau of Street Services in consultation with the City Forest Officer to report back in 60 days with recommended policy amendments language to the board's 2015 street tree removal policy to protect in-place healthy mature trees that might otherwise be damaged or removed during the process of staging for the construction of a building. This motion is introduced by Commissioner Villegas. I am enthusiastically seconding. Commissioner Villegas, would you like to describe the vision here?
Certainly. Thank you for that, President Good. I brought this motion forward this year just so that we have a policy on record that protects our trees when developers are doing construction, as they will, as our economy starts ramping up some more, with an effort to protect our trees that are going to be used for staging area, so that they are mindful of healthy trees and that they look to do their staging area in other parts of either their footprint for their development or in other parts of the work that will be done for a particular development. And we just thought that this was going to be good policy in order for developers also just to be able to think creatively. It's not stifling, but it's also just being able to protect our tree canopy and being able to live in an urban environment. I feel that we just wanted to create some policy around this and keep trees that we have that are healthy, while also, just trying to add to our tree canopy as we go forward in the year. So with that, I'll just read the motion, and then I'll let our Bureau Streets LA have a few words as well, and then I know that we're joined here by our Forest Officer, Rachel Malrich, if she wanted to say a few words as well. So let me just read in the preamble. Trees are one of the most valuable resources. Trees provide shade, they beautify our streets, increase our urban tree canopy, provide the ability to clean storm water runoff. Trees remove pollution from the air, store carbon, and produce oxygen. Trees have been proven to reduce stress and improve concentration. By developing an increased green canopy, trees improve our communities. In an urban environment where trees are valuable, the Board of Public Works recognizes the need to implement policies to ensure their livelihood of trees. As the City of Los Angeles continues to evolve and generate economic activity and development, trees should be protected by all. I therefore move that the Board of Public Works instruct the Bureau of Street Services, or Streets LA, in consultation with the City Forest Officer to report back in 60 days with recommended policy amendment language to the Board's 2015 street tree removal policy to protect in-place healthy mature trees that might otherwise be damaged or removed during the process of staging in the construction of a building. With that, I'll let the Bureau of Streets LA have a few words, and then we will let Rachel Malrich have a few words as well.
Thank you, Commissioner. As you know, Streets LA, we are committed to caring for our urban forest, and that very much includes the preservation and the protection of those healthy, mature trees that are located in our public right-of-way, especially during these temporary construction activities that we want to preserve and protect the longevity of those resources. And we very much appreciate the board elevating this issue, which is, it continues to not only be important to us, but also the City Forest Officer, the city's Forest Advisory Council, and the larger tree advocate community at large. I think is all going to be very pleased to have us working on this and moving it forward. And we are looking forward to bringing back for your consideration some recommended policy updates. And with that, I would like to invite Rachel Malrich, our City Forest Officer.
Thanks, Melinda, and thank you, President Good and Commissioners. I agree wholeheartedly, both with what you've shared, Commissioner Villegas and Melinda. This is an issue I hear it when items for tree removal come before your board, and there's discussion about the reason being staging material. I know that we always hear strongly from our community members when they see that. And so I will echo the gratitude for your support for tree preservation policies, strong tree preservation policies and decisions, and really look forward to working with Streets LA on this particular issue. And I'll just flag that we've already had for a bit now been looking at tree protection zones, which is part of this work as a whole, is not only thinking about how we can encourage developers to maybe not stage materials and need to remove trees for that temporary purpose, but also, as outlined in the motion, look to protect them during construction from, accidental piling of materials that can, even from trees that aren't going to be requested to be removed, preventing that unnecessary damage. And so I think we'll continue having those conversations and add in this direction from you all, and I look forward to sharing when we come back.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your diligence and your work on this as well. And I know that we also worked with Hector Banuelos and with Adele Hashkaliel, our director, and Melinda. I appreciate you and all the work that you've been putting into this. And thank you, Anna, also for joining us today. And you do so many great green streets projects, and so that just helps us with increasing our tree canopy. And most importantly, also just our partners, CFAC as well, because they are an integral part of this process, and just keep us on our toes as well. But there's always ongoing communication. So With that, I'll turn this over to you, President Good.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas, and thank you. Thanks for your leadership on this. I know that, I mean, certainly something that has emerged. Yeah.
I would be remiss if I did not thank also our Assistant Director, Greg Spots. He's not here today. He's out of town. But for the record, I do want to just, he not only comes up with little slogans, actually not little because they turn out to be something big, but he comes up with creative ideas. Maybe it's the Yale in him, but it's awesome. Could not have done this without him. So thank you.
Agreed, and great to hear. Really, the work is ahead, but what's been very crystal clear from the outset here is, and at least in my time here, is Commissioner Villegas' commitment to really look closely and strengthen our policies to find that kind of balance that we need. And I will acknowledge personally also the discomfort with the staging being the impetus for the loss of trees. And I know that we've talked about that, and I really appreciate you taking the lead on this, Commissioner Villegas. One question I do want to posit for really, I guess, for Melinda and Rachel, although Tracy, you'll be very involved, is there a plan to sort of work with planning and DBS in this process as well? Because that's part of that level of collaboration, I think, is going to be really critical in figuring out how to deal with this.
Well, we're in the fortunate position that Rachel, our city forest officer, has already established working groups that include both the Department of City Planning and Building and Safety. So we have a venue by which we can easily communicate and discuss these options. And it's not only, I think, getting the buy-in on the development of policy, but almost more importantly in my mind is the implementation. How do we get this in front of the applicants at the beginning of their process, whether it be an entitlement process through the Department of City Planning or a by right process in front of Building and Safety. So we want to definitely get really thoughtful protection policies in place, and then work closely with the rest of the city family to make sure that our community is aware of these requirements, these changes, these expectations of how we hold the development community and other applicants to.
That makes a lot of sense, and that's great. It seems like a great venue to do that, and I agree. I think it's all about implementation and education around whatever ends up happening. So I think that would have to be part and parcel with any sort of policy. Thank you very much. Vice President Garcia, any questions on this motion?
No questions, but very happy to see this come to life and to fruition. I know for some time now, this doesn't sit well with me when I see staging and we're cutting a tree. I know I fought this before, but with no success. So I'm happy that this now has been official, and we can come back to this motion when we need it. So thank you for that. Thank you, Commissioner Villegas, for your leadership on this, and to everybody at Streets LA for making this a priority. And I hope that we're able to work with the other departments so that we can set a standard for the city and our trees. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. President Pro Tem Davis?
Yes, sir. No questions or inquiry from me. I support it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Coloso?
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions on this. I think, just want to thank Commissioner Villegas, President Good, of course, our Streets LA team here, and Ms. Malrich for all their hard work. And also just want to thank actually Vice President Garcia. When I think of this motion, I think of her bringing this up when we have a tree removal item about staging and how do we save this tree. So I also want to thank you too for all your advocacy on this, and it's great to see us move into policy around this. So I support it. I don't have any questions, and great work, everyone. Lots of amusing motions today during Public Works Week.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner Coloso. Agreed. This is one of those great days where I'm unbelievably proud to just be riding on the train of 5 extraordinary bureaus, a bunch of great offices, and 4 colleagues with lots of vision and relentless commitment to great work in equity. I think this is fabulous. The motion's introduced by Commissioner Villegas. I have seconded. Dr. Campos, let's call roll on this one.
Absolutely. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, Board of Public Works is now considering the motion to protect and place healthy mature trees. We have a motion from Commissioner Villegas and seconded by Commissioner Good. Voting tabulation at this time, President Good?
Aye.
Vice President Garcia?
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis?
Aye.
Commissioner Villegas?
Aye.
And Commissioner Colosa?
Aye.
This motion carries unanimous and it's adopted. Congratulations.
Thank you. We'll adopt this forthwith. Thank you, Dr. Campos, and thank you, colleagues, and great job, Teresa. Thank you, Rachel. Great job, Melinda, Anna. Thank you all very much. All right. That brings us to item number 6, folks. Item number 6 is specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. This is a project in CD 11 at Hyperion Water Reclamation Perimeter Road Improvements. CIP 2447. This is a rebid. Work order SZH 11858. Estimated cost of the project $5,938,000 with the bids to be received on June 30, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve and go ahead and give authorization to invite bids on this?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Do I have a second?
Second.
Take 2 seconds by Garcia and Davis. Any concerns, Colosa? All right, hearing no concerns, the item is adopted forthwith, and the invitation of bids shall proceed. Christopher, was that what you were here for?
Yes, sir, and item number 8 as well.
Gotcha.
Thank you
That's
very
right.
much.
I see, that's right. Okay, we'll do 7 real quick. This also the invitation of bids. Specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. CD13, project in CD13, Los Angeles, Glendale Water Reclamation Plant, Preliminary Treatment Improvement, CIP 4185. This is work order SZL 11231. Estimated cost $7,616,000. Bid receipt date will be July 21, 2021. Cecilia, are you here for this one?
Good morning, Commissioner. It's Ryan Tehow, Commissioner.
Oh, where's Ryan? Oh, there's
Good
Ryan.
morning.
Ryan.
So, yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, if you have any questions on this?
Busy day for Ryan. Okay, do I have a motion to move forward with this solicitation of bids?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Closer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Villegas or Garcia, any concerns? All right, hearing no concerns, item number 7 is adopted forthwith. Go get some bids, Ryan.
Thank you so much.
All right, now we get Christopher Giacomo. Hi, Christopher. We have specialized on-call maintenance services update.
Good afternoon, President Good, Commissioners and Bureau Representatives. Christopher Giacomo. I am an acting sanitation wastewater manager 1 here at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. And I'll be providing or presenting an oral report on the as-needed maintenance service contracts that have been granted to us. Currently, we have 5 notice to proceeds have been issued to the 2 contractors, 3 of which are complete and 2 of which are in a work in progress state, as well as we have 3 bid invitations that we're reviewing the contractors' bids and pending issuing NTPs once some items on their quotes are clarified in accordance with the contract's specifications. And that's all I've prepared for you today.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Unless there's questioning, of course.
Yes, no, thank you. Any questions, colleagues? Commissioner Coloso?
No questions for me. Thank you so much.
All right. Vice President Garcia?
Not for me either, thank you.
Okay. President Pro Tem Davis?
No questions for me either.
And Commissioner Villegas?
And none for me either, thank you.
All right. Well done, Christopher.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And, yes, thank you. And I believe that clears the decks. No? Dr. Campos?
That is correct. Dust is clear.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. That was a uplifting, inspiring, constructive, and inspiring. Like I said, again, inspiring meeting. Really appreciate everybody. And yeah, I know. And let's hope some of this love and brilliance rubs off on the Lakers tonight. So this meeting is officially adjourned. Go Lakers. Go Public Works. Go Public Works. Go Lakers. We save lives and whatever John said. This meeting is adjourned.
Great job. Great job, President. Thank you.